Welcome back to our continuing coverage of night one of the Democratic National Convention. I want to bring in now CBS News political director Fin Gómez. Fin, so good to see you. You're the perfect person to talk to because you were at the Republican convention 1 month ago when this was a very different race.
Yes.
When they basically put on their entire convention thinking that they were going to be running against Joe Biden.
Right.
Talk about the similarities, differences you see so far, and it's early in night one. We are not like really in the swing of things yet. But the similarities and differences between this convention and the Republican convention in terms of who's been asked to speak, who's attending, the energy, all of it.
I mean, I think just, strangely enough, Nancy, I think that so much has happened since in the last couple of weeks, obviously since the RNC in Milwaukee, but there has been one major similarity that I have found is that during that convention, you saw like this sense of unity, collective unity across, they did feel that they felt very good and confident, cocky about where they were in terms of the race. And now, because the script has essentially been flipped, now you're seeing, and they're also contrasting themselves with the disarray at the time with the Democrats. But now, here, a couple weeks later, in Chicago, you're finding the unity and that sense of unity here, right, amongst the Democrats with this momentum they now see and feel are surrounding Kamala Harris, whereas in contrast to the Republicans and Donald Trump right now, there's this sense of there's this sense of bad headlines and things aren't going so great on their side, right? So I think in just a couple weeks, and it just shows sort of the mercurial nature of and uniqueness of this cycle,
right?
That things can change like that.
But there's a surprise in every cycle, right? I mean, the only thing that's constant in elections is there is no constant. And tonight, we're not just going to be hearing from President Biden, and there'll be a huge outpouring of emotion when he speaks, but also former Secretary of State, former Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton. And we all remember 8 years ago when she walked out in that white pantsuit onto that stage and talked about what a revolutionary thing it would be if she were to be elected the first female president. And it didn't happen. And tonight, even though Kamala Harris doesn't talk a lot about being the first, really talk at all about being the first, Hillary Clinton, we're told, is going to touch on that, and what a history-making moment it would be.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw, we were both there in Philadelphia for that convention and also at the Javits Center and on election night as well. And in speaking to delegates here and also some advisors to Hillary Clinton in 2016, there's a sense that there's this continuation of her legacy that they felt was arrested or stopped because of the outcome in 2016. And now they're looking at this potential for history, for electing the first woman president that I think is palpable here. You really hear a lot of chatter in the hallways and delegates talking about that as well. The historic nature of what could happen in 78 days from now.
And, even though the vice president is not here, and technically she's not speaking until Thursday night, I have the feeling that we're going to see her, we're going to see her vice presidential nominee, Tim Walz, at key moments throughout this convention in some way.
Yeah, and I think you got a little taste of that earlier today when Walz dropped in on this Pennsylvania breakfast delegation when he wasn't expected. Like the sense of of surprise and these reveals, but also I think they sense the energy of the crowd, and it's also it's a little bit of reward, connecting them, and also continuing that momentum that they feel so strongly, not only here in Chicago but throughout the country.
Right, and they're hoping they can capture that momentum and take it through the next 80 or so days. Fin Gómez, thanks so much. Appreciate your insight.